Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You can get a job in the Middle East simply by trying or by magic, through others, or by fluke. Remember that competition is everywhere. Some here, some there, but bam! Loy Machedo is the best.
Another Loy Machedo. Speaking to you from loymachedo.com. Who is Loy Machedo? And Fig Personal Branding. All right. I've been doing this study for the past, I think, 7-8 days. And after I got information from one of my contacts stating that UAE will be looking into the aspect of taxes, whether it's business tax or income tax, I decided to do a little bit of research because, everything that is speculated or stated, you have to do research, you have to check the trend of things. And plus, on top of that, I was busy because of, I told you, new jobs will be coming up, especially, after Eid. So there were these job positions, and it's surprising, but now it's like if a company has 10 people, they're terminating maybe 6 or 7, and they're keeping the top 3 best. So less overheads. They can push for better quality work, better performance. Before, they would keep like dummy idiots, and they would keep 10, 20 people, pay them mediocre salaries and mediocre results. Now it is like, okay, I'll keep small teams, 1 or 2, but really good people. So it's lesser headache and better quality. Okay, so this has been what's been going on. That's why I've been busy with jobs and job placements. Sorry. And finally, I've prepared this. I'll see if I can put in terms of the description details down below in the description. But anyway, let's move on. So give me your thoughts. Listen to this video carefully. Don't listen to it very fast. In each and every point, do your research, okay? And you can tell me where I'm wrong, where I'm right, okay? So in this video, I'm going to give you the what UAE was in terms, as a nutshell, what UAE became. In terms of the mistakes, I have got around, I think, 12 or 13 mistakes. In terms of problems, the 22 problems that UAE will be facing, and what is going to happen in the future. So I'll be giving you just in a nutshell so that I can cover everything. Okay. Now let's understand UAE. UAE, 7 Emirates. Okay, founded on 2nd December 1971. Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Sharjah, Ajman, Al Quwain, Fujairah. Okay. And Ras Al Khaimah joined on 10th February 1972. So roughly the country is 48 or 50 years old. Okay, just 50 years. It's very young. And in 50 years, UAE achieved tremendous success. Zayed being the ruler of Abu Dhabi and Rashid being the ruler of Dubai. Great visionaries, very grounded. They really loved their country. They really loved their citizens. Sheikh Zayed used to personally go and meet his citizens. He used to personally go and, ensure that there was water, there was wells, there was agriculture. He wouldn't personally go and make sure that he would give them food. An entourage used to travel with Rashid and Zayed, because those days the roads were not developed. There was deserts. So they would personally go and meet these families. And that is why, if you check with the expatriates, the people who have stayed in Dubai from 1970s, they could actually meet with the ruling family. That's why my mother, she met with Al-Qasmi, the Al-Qasmi family. She used to go to their house and teach them. Those were the days, okay? However, as UAE became bigger and grew really fast and rapidly and became rich, that distance started to grow. Okay, so that was during Zayed and Rashid's days. Then obviously, after Zayed, his son Khalifa took, which was not such a great reign. He had his own problems of drugs and alcohol and women and addictions, and you could make out from his face. Just Google search how Khalifa used to look when he was young, how his face was sagging with, heavy bagged eyes, and now how he looks like as an old man. Just compare. Don't just do your research. Sheikh Rashid appointed, uh, you know, Sheikh Mohammed, very dynamic, hot-blooded guy who focused on being a military guy. Even in between, there was this almost coup. They almost took over, had a military fight. I don't know which was it, Russell Kema or something. I'm not too sure about it, but he ruled with an iron fist, and he was hot-blooded. And Sheikh Zayed made sure that he was controlled, made cool, calm, composed. And this hot-bloodedness is what drove Dubai from he being in charge of defense to being the minister, and in charge of Dubai. He took over, and this hot-bloodedness, this rage, he really put and made Dubai global. He tried to make Dubai into the Las Vegas of the Middle East. Okay, none of the rulers before him used to take part in horse racing in the UK. That gambling he did. He bought horse racing and made it like a kind of legalized, kind of open gambling in Dubai. He bought casinos. There are casinos even today. There are casinos, and they are played on yachts or expensive boats. Outside the sea, that is not in the land, a little bit in the sea, and all these rich boys, these rich sheikhs and the rich businessmen, they do that. Okay, that Ferris wheel, that big Ferris wheel, that island that is being created in near Dubai Marina, that was supposed to be a gambling hub. Okay, in fact, one of my friend's father, okay, he actually went to Sheikh Mohammed's villa, which was underwater. Okay, how did he go there? He was taken first by a car. Like these Hollywood movies, this black, transport vehicles, black. So he's taken in that, and then he was taken into another vehicle. From there, they went into a garage, and from the garage they went down the lift, and then went like a couple of 2-3 kilometers. They could see light. So they were actually underground. And then when they landed, they could see that, he saw right up, there was this glass and dome, and there was water, and he could see fishes and all, like an underwater, like a James Bond kind of a movie. And he said everything there was gold and gold plated and diamond, and, it was amazingly beautiful. So in the 80s, all this was there in the 80s. So Sheikh Mohammed was very modern, very futuristic. Okay. And see, when you have the money, you can do all these things. Okay, when you have the money, you can absolutely do all these things. So Dubai was progressing. However, the one thing that worked for Dubai was it did not try to get too much attention. It was not trying to be, hey, look at us, we are this. So the world was busy. Dubai was very tiny, very small. And if you look at UAE, it's a dot. It's a small fucking dot. UAE is very tiny. Okay, so nobody was too bothered about it. People heard about Dubai after 70s, and they would come there to make easy money. And what was UAE? UAE was filled with this land of pirates. It was, like the pirates of the Caribbean. You have the pirates of the Arab world. They were all pirates, plunder, loot, and all that. And they would have all these traders who would come with ships. If you do a little bit of reading, you'll find out these old businessmen, Indian businessmen, Pakistani businessmen, they came on ships. Some of them didn't even have a passport, and the passport was like a paper, folded paper, which when you land, they will just stamp, just put a dummy stamp. They would come with just a paper written, handwritten. So that is how people would come. And Dubai was this trading hub where, just a desert. It was typical, like just a beach. You would see some houses, camels, and that's about it. Very simple. Al Futtaim used to actually deliver water on a donkey's back. There was no fan. There was no ACs. ACs was not heard of. And most of them used to bring gold, smuggle gold, and sell it. So they would bring trading items onto Dubai, and from Dubai it would go to other places. So it was like a trading hub. Okay. And that is where Iranians came there, Yemeni came there, Syrians came there, Libyans came there, Pakistanis came there, Indians came there. And this point will be very important. Keep this in mind, because as I'll be speaking later. So, it was like a trading hub. And that is why Sheikh Rashid expanded on this. Dubai Creek, that was where they would meet first. Then later on, he made it bigger. He made it much more expanded. And then finally, Jabal Ali port came. Okay, because Sheikh Rashid had that vision that he would build all this. Okay, so everything was going fine. Sheikh Mohammed was doing what he had to bring UAE onto the global stage. Okay, and he was very intelligent because he was educated abroad. He bought good, intelligent people. So they focused on infrastructure, nice roads. They focused on having better lifestyle, better quality for its people. Okay, now UAE did not have any agriculture because it's a desert. Okay, the only industry that is there right now is Dubai, that is Dubai Aluminium, and Emal they try to develop, but it's still in dicey. Okay, the port, which was a massive, I mean, very important, um, uh, destination for Dubai because all the ports, all the ships come there, and it's a major trading area. Okay, so the sources for income for UAE as a whole was oil, which was very important, especially for Abu Dhabi, and for Sharjah it was gas, tourism. Dubai primarily focused on tourism, trying to attract people with money. Okay, investment, and that is where they focus on investment, which will be the next one. The people with the money, if you have the money, come down here, and they wanted to increase the population, so they supported the Emiratis to make sure that they would try to breed in the sense increase the population, but they had to bring in people. Otherwise, like when you play a game, computer game, if you have to increase the strength of everything, you need population to come there. So they attracted expatriates, tell them, there's no tax, just come down. So people started to come. Now, the important part was they didn't want poor people to come. They wanted people with money. And when you're talking of people with money, who are the people with lots of money but who would want to come to UAE? People with lots of money would go to a stable country. But the people with illegal money or black money or not declared money, they want to invest somewhere. So UAE had the wisdom to say that, fine, if you have black money or you have money that you don't want to declare, come and put it here, no questions asked. So that is where they started to attract all these underworld, underground, from drug lords to criminals. That is why if you Google search old articles, Osama bin Laden was treated in which hospital? American Hospital of Dubai. Okay, I was there in Dubai and I knew this that time. It was all over the papers. Dawood Ibrahim stayed for so many years where? During the cricket match that used to take place in Sharjah. Who was the main guy who used to watch? Dawood Ibrahim. They used to make big bets over there. If you Google search today, New York Times, you'll see the underworld kingpins from UK, from Russia, from Ireland. Where are they based? They are all based in UAE. Okay, and this also used to get reported by Al Jazeera, which is where I'll speak about the problems with UAE and Qatar. Okay, so they bought all these guys. Now the beauty was, even if you're a drug lord, even if you're a mafia guy, even if you're a terrorist or whatever you are, whatever business you do outside, that's fine. But when you come to UAE, be a nice guy. Don't make any problems. So that was their deal. Okay, and most of them, they said, fine, we will do our illegal stuff here. We'll bring the money here. Don't ask us where we bought the money, but we'll do it legally. So the money that they got that was not declared, or the money that they got through drugs or terrorism or whatever, or through whatever channels, they would bring it here. But here they would invest into a supermarket, into a restaurant, into a building, into a property. So cash was flowing. Remember, for economy to run, you need cash flow. Okay. So that is what started to fuel the economy. And that was good because they said, I don't care. You open the account, put 1 million, 1 billion, whatever. I'll not ask you where you got it from. And after you put it in the bank, we will use this to lend it to people for loans and the economy will run. So we'll make interest on that. You do your thing quietly. Everyone's happy. So everyone was happy until then. Now, when the money started to come in, so obviously people have purchasing power. Once they had purchasing power, they said, what do? I want to buy something. So people would go to Hong Kong, people would go to Singapore, people would go to Bangkok. So Dubai, once again, Sheikh Mohammed had the vision. He said, why the fuck are these people going there? You have the money, spend it here. But then the question is, what would they spend it on? So that is where he started to build places and avenues where they could spend money. Okay, why do you think there are prostitutes in Dubai? Okay, they just go to Dera, go to any Dera, go to any massage parlor in Marina, go to any place, just park your car anywhere in Marina Investments, or you'll see so many cards which are put there. What are those? Those are prostitutes or those are females who are there, and it's known. As long as nobody makes a big issue order, you can make your money. So they would say, okay, pay money there. And who brings these females? CIDs or all these Emiratis, powerful guys, they bring them there. They bring them 2-3 months and they go. And it's evident why they come there. Okay. Then, but he said, apart from this, we need to spend money on. So that is why they focus on alcohol, booze. African and Eastern is owned by who? It's owned by Sheikh Saeed. Okay. African Eastern and MMI is owned by who? Sheikh Saeed. Okay. And remember, Emirates Airlines, Sheikh Saeed, the same guy. Okay. So that's how the money went to Emirates Airlines. Okay. So alcohol was being that. There was booze, there was girls, then there was bars, then there were pubs. Okay. But it was like, we still need to make people spend money. So then they started to attract all these global brands. They bought in brands where they could sell electronics, cars. Before the 4-wheel drive, these big vehicles were only for Arab locals. All of them went to the sheikhs and said, say, listen, we need to sell these people so we can make some money out of it. So before it was only allowed for Arab locals to drive. Then they opened it for, the white expatriates. Then they opened it for rich guys. Then they said, anyone who has money, fine. We will give you a 4-wheel drive. You can buy a Pajero. You can buy a all these big ass, General Motors, all this gas guzzling 4-wheel drives. Buy, no problem. So then everyone started to buy. Money started rolling, and that is where Dubai Shopping Festival came. Oh, people are spending money. Let's have a bigger shopping festival. Let's not have 3 days. Let's have 1 month. Then they'll have summer surprise. Then came the Dubai sale. Now, they have a shopping festival which is like 3-4 months. They have a summer surprise which comes. They have a Jitex. Before there was only 1-day Jitex. Then there were 2-day Jitex. There's 7-day Jitex. Now there are 2 Jitex. Okay, Jitex is Gulf International Technology Exhibition where they sell products. And then, these 80%, 90% off brands, what they do is they conduct a raid of people who are selling duplicate items. They take all these duplicate items. They say it's confiscated. They'll put it in the newspaper. Where is it? It's not burnt. Like in Philippines or in some other country, they show you that they make a steamroller run on top of it, or they burn it, or they destroy it. They don't do all that. They take it. They say it's confiscated. They take it. They dump it in the port. Okay. And then they say sale, brand sale, and they sell the same products and they make money. Very smart, very intelligent, no problem. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if the drugs and everything else kind of goes the same way. Okay. That again, I'm just giving you speculation from what I've heard. Okay. I don't have any evidence to that. But in terms of the duplicate products, the ones that are confiscated, jeans, trousers, perfumes, belts, all that is resold. Okay. That I have evidence because I know it. I've seen it with my own eyes. Okay. So they wanted people to spend money, and that is where, when they realized, oh, people are spending money. Al Ghurair Center came up, people were spending money. Then they said Burjuman, people were spending money. Then they bought in all the malls, whether it's Sunset Mall, Lamsey Mall. Wafi was only for women. Remember that? Wafi was only for women. Ha ha ha, it's only for women. Remember those ads? They had Arabian Mall, they had Dragon Mall, they had Dragon Mall 2, they had Sharjah Dragon Mall, Chinese Mall in Sharjah. So many malls. Okay, so many. And then the largest mall, Dubai Mall. So people had the money and they realized a lot of people have the money, we will spend. And that was where a gold idea struck Sheikh Mohammed. He said, wow, fucking hell, people have money. So why not we make them spend? And what is the best way we can make money? Best way. A plot of land, which is a desert, which is valued at 0. Plot of land is 0. If we can sell that plot of land, we can sell it for 10,000, whatever. But if we say this is going to become a great city and we're going to get millions and millions, that plot of land which was 0, which they were selling for 1,000, now we can sell it for 1 million. Then if you build a building on top of each flat, each floor you can sell for 10,000, and each flat you can sell for something else. So where before it was 0, then they could sell for 1,000. Now they are selling for 1 million. Then they started to sell the whole entire building for maybe 10 million. But then they started to hype things up. So instead of 0, 1,000, 100,000, 1 million, 10 million, it became 100 million. So 100 times more. So what they started to do is they started to make these buildings. Okay. At that time, it was just buildings. Remember, I'm not talking about the buying the, flats. buying the flats. Okay, that was not yet invented till then. Till then, they didn't know how to do that. And how did they manage to do it? They bought in cheap labor from India, cheap labor from Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and they realized, man, these governments, they don't fucking support their own citizens. We can exploit them. And where they're getting peanuts there, we can pay them in dirhams. And, so they bought them in droves. And the thing was, because those days there was no internet, social media, they could take advantage. They would bring them here, they would take their passport and make them slaves. And they were afraid. There was no social media, there was no phone, there was no internet. So they were afraid. They had to send money back home. So they used to work 12 hours a day, 7 days a week for $100. Okay. I know guys who used to supply rice and just curry. Okay. Just for these. And these guys, they would take loans and come down here. And, it was like human trafficking. Okay. That is why in Saudi, many people, they have taken their passport. They keep them like slaves. I know even in Dubai, there are a lot of Filipinas who are taken to work there, but their passports are taken. They're locked in the house for years and years. Okay, they don't know what to do. Now, because President Duterte has come there, he will fuck anyone's happiness. So they're just waiting for someone to tell them. So this used to go on, and sexual exploitation, all that shit used to happen. Okay, so they would bring these cheap labor. They would exploit them. That time there was no human rights major thing, and once again, like I told you, UAE was small. So they started to build and build and build. Why do you think no other country is able to build as fast as any of the Middle East countries? Why? Because they can exploit laborers. They can pay them $100 or $50 a month and get away with it. Do you think in the West, you can pay a construction worker $100 for the entire month, 7 days a week, 12 hours a day? Do you think anyone will keep quiet? No. It only happens only in the Middle East. Only in the Middle East. Nowhere else. Okay. So they started making these buildings low overheads, low cost, especially salaries. It's easy to build it. And that is where they started to even work against the international standards. Why do you think buildings in Dubai, if you actually look, buildings in Middle East, especially in Dubai, they catch fire very easily. Why is it so? Because the material that is used is cheap, is duplicate, because there's no one to check all this. Okay. Case in point, the Ambassador Hotel, which was Sheikh Mohammed's flagship hotel, that caught fire in the new year. Just Google search. Okay. So, well, and the beauty was they would make this building cheap as possible, not pay the contractors on time, not pay anybody, but take money from the investors. Dubai International Airport expansion. Thermo, what happened to Thermo? Bankrupt because they were not paid. Most of the contractors who took part in all these projects, they were never paid on time. They were asked to give a discount with a margin of just 5%, and some cases even 2%, because they were told this is going to be prestigious. They never paid them even that. And then when the time came for them to pay, they said, come after 6 months, come after 6 months, come after 6 months. PDCs, that's the magic of PDCs, post-dated checks. And finally, when it went after 2 years and they begged and they pleaded, they said, fine, we'll give it to you, but you have to give it to us at 50% discount. Just imagine. So the company cannot take, can you take Sheikh Mohammed to jail? Can you take any of the big sheikhs to jail? You can't take. So you just cut down your losses. I know of a guy who did a job for Burj Khalifa, I think 2 million plus. He didn't get paid anything. He didn't get paid anything. And he said, Loy, I just have these dummy checks. I can't do anything about it. So this was going on. Okay, this was going on. People knew, but nobody would talk about it because they were afraid. Anyone who stays in Dubai is very fucking afraid, because if you talk, you can get fucked. Like right now, what is happening, the Islamophobia nonsense. You speak anything about India, you have an opinion about, okay, Hindu, Muslim, you speak about India, UAE takes the action. So it's so retarded. It's like an Arab can speak bad about Hindus, an Arab can exploit Hindus, an Arab can do anything bad. Islam is the only religion where if you draw the prophet, some guy will blow your brains out. Okay? It is the only religion that does this. Have you seen in Christianity, if you draw a funny thing of Jesus, someone takes a gun and shoots you? If you're gay, they will stone you to that, or they'll chop your hands or legs or throw you from a building. No, this happens only in Islam. But if you criticize Islam, it's called Islamophobia. Okay? It's called racism, even though Islam is not a race. And if you bring this topic out, let me charge my phone. My phone battery is dying. Give me a second. And if you bring this topic people say you're racist or you're Islamophobic. 1 second. Crazy, huh? When you're recording, the phone is about to die. Okay, sorry. Is it charging? I think it's charging. Okay. So this is what happened. Now, so they started making more buildings like the Falcon Tower. They started announcing, not building. The first project that came was JLT area. Just imagine, when they bought it up, they didn't know it would work. Okay. And they came out with this concept that will give you a 10-year visa. Those who are in UAE will remember this. They came out for the first time in the history of UAE. They said, we'll come out with a 10-year visa. And guess who bought the first big property? DR Shetty. Okay, 10 years. And they bought it for 100,000 dirhams, I think. Okay, just imagine that time 100,000 dirhams. Within a few days, it went to 1 million. Okay, I think they sold it for 1 million. I can be wrong. 1 million or 100,000, one of the two. It went for 1 million and the whole building sold out in just few hours. They realized, shit, we have amazing potential here. Then they started to make another building. This building also sold within few hours. Automatically, the price from 1 million jumped to 10 million. From 10 million jumped to 20 million. It just went up and up and up. And very soon they realized, shit, we are sitting on a goose that lays golden eggs. Automatically, within just a few days, not even weeks, not even months, all construction went berserk. Everywhere they started coming out with building this property, pay 1%, pay 10%, pay anything down payment, which was not refundable, and this property belongs to you. And banks were saying, and to facilitate the sale, banks were saying, we'll give you card, we'll give you cash, we'll give you loans easily, just buy it. So here you have, suppose I have no money, let's say my salary is 1,000. Example, my salary is 1,000. I would go to the property guy. The guy would say, just put 100 and this 1 million, this house, 1 million worth of house is yours. Just put 100. So I'm earning 1,000. That's my capacity. I don't have the capacity to pay 1 million. I would buy 10 units. I'd buy 10 units. He would say, on paper, these 10 units are yours. You are now officially worth, since you have 10 houses, 10 million. Your salary is 1,000, but because you put a down payment of 1%, now you're worth 10 million. This guy would have 10 million. And then he would somehow use his brains and he would tell, anyone wants to buy this? I already bought it. I stood in the sun. I waited for 3-4 days. You want to buy it? He would not say that he paid 100. He would say that this house worth 1 million is mine. So people would say, I'll buy that. Okay. He would say, I'll give you at a discount. It's worth 1 million. How much will you give me? So they would say, okay, I'll give you 500,000. So he would say, no, give in that. So they bargain back around. He would say, okay, I'll give it to you for 300,000, but cash. So he put 100. He told that guy, you can buy this house of 1 million. Just give me 300,000. So he would make 3 million just like this. This is actually what is happening. Huh? I'm telling you, people who I know who are literally like beggars who are nothing, they made millions through this law because there were no rules, there was no law regulated. And the biggest fraud that took place that time, the biggest fraud, which the government was involved, they started to say, you buy the property, you ask anybody who was there, you buy the property, you get a 10-year visa. You buy the property, you get a 20-year visa. You get a lifetime visa. There were properties, construction, the whole UAE became a construction area. You had Dubai construction, you had Ajman, you had Ras Al Khaimah, you had Fujairah. You know Shah Rukh Khan? Shah Rukh Khan endorsed a property in Ras Al Khaimah called the Shah Rukh Khan Signature Villas or something. And people paid millions with that name. There was one guy, American actor, he was, I think, Jordanian or Syrian, can't get his name. His villa sold for millions. It was unbelievable. Any famous actor would come. Even Donald Trump villas. You know, the Donald Trump on Palm Island, there was supposed to be Trump Towers right in the middle, and a train would go right in between the building. You just Google search, man. Just Google search. It was a Trump Towers. Unbelievable. Stuff was selling like mad. And then you had the Palm Island 1, 2, 3. Watch that documentary that has come out. The Palm Island 1, 2, 3. The universe that was going to be waterfront, which had 750,000 villas. You had the 3 Palm Islands. You had the world map. And in all these projects, they just told, pay 1%, pay 10%, and it's yours. And the prices, remember I told you the land which was worthless, zero. was then worth 1,000, became 100,000. Now that small plot of land would get returns of up to 500 million, would get up to 1 billion. It was unbelievable, the amount of fucking money. And then they came out with a building that looked like an Arab local city that was Chess City. I remember there was Falcon City, which there was an Eiffel Tower, Taj Mahal, Statue of Liberty. You had Nakil Islands. You had a Bawardi strip where you had 100 hotels. This was a concept drawing I knew because I was working with, I had a friend who was in a advertising agency. I think 10 kilometers stretch of all hotels, skyscrapers, okay, Bawardi stretch or something like that. So UAE tried to become what Sheikh Mohammed's vision was. Instead of people going to Bangkok and Singapore and London, people will spend money in Dubai. It will be the new hub. It'll be the central place, like the Las Vegas, where people don't have to go anywhere. You want wine, you want women, you want whiskey, you want all the W's, we will give you. And to facilitate this, at the same time, he started to develop Emirates Airlines. Why? Because traveling, I'll bring you here for cheap, okay? Make you stay, give you a great package, give you a visa on arrival, and then, you can go anywhere. And he built the biggest airline. Remember, I told you MMI booze. Sheikh Saeed had that. Money from there was pumped into Emirates Airlines. Emirates Airlines started to grow. And here's the funny thing. When I was in Dublin, Ireland, do you know that packages were offered for as less as hardly 1,000 dirhams? 1,000 dirhams, you'd get one week stay in Burj Al Arab. Seriously, Burj Al Arab, special promotion, 1,000. But I think there were some caveats to that or something. But a package price, a complete package price. I think it was Burj Al Arab, not too sure. But it was definitely, one thing I'll tell you, it was definitely a UAE based package. And visa on arrival for all the Goras, all the white skin. So, they were getting all the white skin tourists left, right, and center. And people are coming there. Obviously, the sun, they had perfect beaches, beautiful places. So tourists would come there, foreign exchange. And I told you, the boom phase, the property boom, the Emirates Airlines boom. And then, yes, they believed anything was possible. This was where UAE, which had a very good marketing team, which had a very good PR team, they started to hype the image so much. When you repeat a lie too many times, it actually becomes the truth. They started saying UAE is the best, the greatest, the this, the that. Very soon they started to actually believe their own bullshit. And that is where they started, that slogan, that saying, from camel to Cadillac. That is where UAE started to focus on being the biggest, the greatest, the largest, the EST, everything. They wanted to have the largest shopping mall. They wanted to have the tallest building. They wanted to have the largest man-made islands. They wanted to break every Guinness Book of World Records. They wanted to have an underwater hotel. They wanted to have an underwater this, that. So name it, it would be there. In fact, if you check any of the news, like the news that you can get, Gulf News, just Google search Gulf News, Expo 2020 Dubai in numbers. Just Google search Expo 2020 Gulf News, okay, Gulf News article, Expo 2020 Dubai numbers. The predictions that they're giving, the numbers that they're putting, you'll begin to wonder, fuck, how did they come out with all this? In fact, one of them is said, the best statement out of that article is 122.6 billion revenue is expected for Dubai to earn in dirhams. Just think, 122.6 billion Dubai will generate because of Expo 2020. From where the fuck do they get these numbers? And the problem is people actually buy and believe into all this bullshit. UAE has been known to give you bullshit. Like, for example, 25 million travelers will come to UAE. Gulf News again, that same article. See, the thing is, Sheikh Mohammed can say the vision for the next 50 years. Just Google search Sheikh Mohammed's vision for 50 years, for 100 years. People just say, wow, that's going to be the year. When they got Expo 2020, people were actually celebrating. They were having a party. They gave people bonuses, 3 months, 4 months salary bonus. They had ads, full page ads, which cost 100,000 dirhams in the paper. Full page ads. The property that boom I was talking to you about. During the property boom phase, the Gulf News today, which is dying with no ads. The newspaper was 20 pages, the main newspaper. The classifieds, the ads for properties, There were around 80 pages, 80 pages of ads, 80 pages. Can you imagine how much money they were spending on ads? People were buying fucking left, right, and center. And that is where the problem started. So what was the problems? The problem started when, number one, overconfidence. You feel that you can do anything. And number two, ass kissing. Sheikh Mohammed would employ goras with big degrees who he thought that he's bringing them to ensure everything is great. But the problem with this here is, if Sheikh Mohammed wanted a vision, you had to say, yes, we can do that vision. You cannot question him. You cannot say, no, this is a bad idea. You cannot say anything. You have to say, yes, sir, whatever you say, it's amazing, sir. We can do it, sir. And if he says, let's aim at 100 million, sir, with your vision, why 100 million, sir? 100 billion, sir. You're capable. So he was like, yes, you're right. Impossible is nothing. Just Google search Sheikh Mohammed's words. Impossible is void in UAE. There's no such thing as impossible in UAE. So he believed like, oh, I can do anything. I can do anything. So when need is replaced by greed, when you have pride and ego, where you think you are invincible, which is what UAE, especially Sheikh Mohammed thought, and all the Emirati locals thought, that was the beginning of the end. So what happened? So that is where UAE's its success went to its head, and that is where Mohammed bin Salman, MBS, the new blood, the new generation that comes, they think anything is possible. They forget the values, the hard work. That is why the parents are always humble, but the children tend to be somewhat cocky and stupid. So in Saudi, the old father and all that, they were focused on religion. They were focused on community and Islam. But MBS came. He was hyper ambitious, an unbelievably ambitious guy. But the problem is, ambitious a bit too much, and ambitious to the point of wanting to be global. The problem with being global is, once you're in the global stage, you will attract global attention and global criticism. So that is what they didn't consider. What they considered is, we'll be global, we'll be international, we'll be Arabs, billionaires and millionaires and all that. What? Okay. So first mistake that UAE did was, we said they teamed up with Saudi. That's the first big mistake that they, and why it was a mistake? They teamed up together because they are Sunni. Okay. And, Iran is Shia. So religion is always the root cause of all problems. In a religion, you always have religion, its own people fighting with its own people. Shia versus Sunni, worst bloodbath. Christianity, Christians versus Protestants, worst bloodbath. Hinduism, Brahmins versus the untouchables, the Kshatriyas and whatever, the worst problem. So it's always religion within itself that creates the biggest problem. So Shia versus Sunni became a major talking point. So you had UAE and Saudi that teamed up together versus Iran. And Saudi brainwashed UAE nicely, saying, we will support you, we'll be there, we can do this, we can do that. So they said, fine, let's unite. So Sunnis, which is Southeast Asia, China, South Asia, Africa, and parts of the Arab world. Shia, which is Iraq, Bahrain, Iran, Azerbaijan, Pakistan, Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, Kuwait. Keep these names in mind. Huh? So they teamed up together, and UAE, what it did was, decided step by step we'll decimate all the Shia, Iran and everything. So Qatar was playing the neutral fiddle, and Qatar didn't have to give a damn because US bases were based in Qatar. So they were like, okay, we will just have an international news and we'll just be global. So Al Jazeera came. Al Jazeera started reporting all the bad things that were happening from the Arab Spring to everything else, and they started speaking about Saudi. Less about UAE, but more about Saudi. Saudi said, you bastard, I'm going to finish you off. And what they did is, they told UAE, listen, I know you're good team, good friends with Qatar, but I don't like it. You have to choose. So UAE saw the benefit. Oh, Saudi has USA drills oils, USA bases, much more beneficial to be with them. So they teamed up, and one fine day, it says, yes, for Wikipedia, June 2017, when Saudi Arabia, UAE, Bahrain, Egypt, Maldives, Mauritania, Senegal, Djibouti, and Comoros, Jordan, and the Tobruk-based Libyan government, led by Hadi, Yemeni government, severed diplomatic ties with Qatar. If you actually see the countries that are mentioned here, all UAE has something got to do, or Saudi has something got to do. They pay them cash, they take care of them. Okay, fine. So the Qatar blockade. The mistake that they did here is they underestimated the Qatar. They underestimated that. They overestimated their relationship with the US, and they never estimated the complications it would bring. Now, what is the problem? Okay, the problem was Saudi. Okay, Saudi already had US interest because of Aramco. Okay, oil. So USA loves to be with those countries where there is oil. Why they are not bothered about Syria? There's no oil. Why they are not bothered? Why they were very bothered about weapons of mass destruction in Iraq? Because oil. Okay. Why they are harassing Iran? Because of oil. Okay. So where there is oil, US has a lot of interest. But where there is no oil, they don't give a fuck. Okay. So UAE said, oh, there's nothing interesting here. Why not we, Saudi told UAE, listen, you need to make USA happy, then USA will like you. So USA teamed up with Israel. USA teamed up with Israel for spyware. Okay. Google search Pegasus spyware, Dark Matter, which is an Emirati company. They hacked into all the iPhones. They hacked into all the phones, especially that of Qatar, and they were able to take this information. How they were able to, arrest Emirati citizens who were speaking against UAE itself. Okay, who were questioning what was going on. So this is because of Israel's team, and Israel is loved by US. And the minute UAE and Israel teamed up, they were in the good graces of USA. Okay, so now USA starts liking UAE, and UAE was busy paying the senators and people, here, take a donation, take this, take that. That is why you started to see UAE, MBZ meeting with the US counterparts. It was great. Photograph was great. I think it was Obama that came to, Obama or Bush came down to UAE. There was complete blockade. Donald Trump anyway came. So that's why you had with the Mac properties, all that. So I think it was Bush or Obama. I'm not too sure. I can't recollect. They had blocked the entire UAE. So USA was coming to UAE. UAE was feeling very great about it. They wanted to show that our relationship is with the big boys. Okay. But just look at the funny thing. After the USA did this, Saudi, to show, we love you also. We will buy billions. Remember the handshake with Donald Trump and showing Saudi is our partner, is our friend. They're buying billions. Immediately after that, or around that area, that time, USA suddenly says Qatar is harboring terrorists. Qatar shouldn't be doing this. It's so funny. USA had its base in Qatar, and USA is saying that Qatar is supporting terrorists. So the Emir of Qatar was very smart. He knew, I know what USA wants. Next thing you know, the Emir of Qatar went to USA and said, we would like to buy billions of dollars worth of weapons from you, please, if you don't mind. All of a sudden, Qatar, which was harboring terrorists, Donald Trump comes and says, no, there should be peace between Qatar and UAE. We are keeping a close eye. All of a sudden, Qatar was no longer terrorist. All of a sudden, Saudi was no longer terrorist. Guess which embassy? The answer is Saudi. Which embassy has US-based intelligence service protecting it 24/7? Okay. So now, UAE and Saudi want to buy the friendship of USA, and USA doesn't mind. You pay us money, we'll be your friend. Qatar also said, oh, fine, fuck you. You think you have money? I have lots more shitloads of money. Okay. So they started to not only play that war, they also started to play the bidding war. The FIFA World Cup, they bid for it. How the fuck do you think Qatar, a country that is just a desert, managed to get FIFA? Okay. All this, everyone knows. It's not rocket science. Okay, fine. So until now, all this is going on. But this is where the mistakes started to unfold one by one. What were the mistakes? Mistake number one. UAE made friends with US. Okay? UAE made friends with Saudi. UAE made friends with Israel. But at what price? The price was they broke off relationship with Iran by making friends with India, hugging Modi and all that. Remember? Okay. They broke off relationship with Pakistan. They broke off relationship with Yemen by involving in the war. They seriously destroyed their relationship in Syria and Libya. That is why all these countries whose names I've given, even Bangladesh, they don't give them visas, So now you'll say, so Loy, what is the big deal? Well, newsflash. The souk, which was there in UAE from the yesteryears is filled with Iranis, is filled with Pakistanis. It was not filled with the majority of Indians. Indians, yes, but it came later. So they destroyed the old tradition, the relationship. The trading takes place between Iran and UAE. They destroyed all that. They harmed all that. That was number one. Okay. Mistake number two. UAE never took part in any wars. Sheikh Rashid's vision was never to take part in any war. Even Sheikh Zayed, they would protect its territory, but they would never involve themselves in another war like Japan. With Yemen, and after making friendship with Saudi, they involved themselves in Yemen, and now that war is costing them millions and billions. Okay. And I'll tell you, a lot of Emirati locals are very angry about this, but they can't talk about it. Many Emirati locals have told me about it. In fact, they are planning to make military this thing. You have to have a military career, or you have to join the military compulsory, and that is going to create a big, massive issue. Then the next mistake, number three. There was no more unity. Before the Gulf states, they were all united together, and they were very powerful oil-producing nations, OPEC. Now it's completely broken, and that is what US wanted, and they managed to achieve that. Okay. Mistake number four, friendship with the US. Any country that makes friendship with the US doesn't benefit. US only makes friendship with those countries that have money. US likes to portray themselves as this goody-goody guy in Hollywood movies, or they like to show that they are very nice people, but they only give a fuck if you have money. If you don't have money, they'll give a fuck to you, okay? And if you think US is very educated and US is very fair and goody-goody, just Google search. Even today, racism takes place. Even today, a white man can hold a gun and storm this thing, but a black man can't forget a gun, even a knife, okay? US is it's a crazy place. I'll just tell you that much. Okay, the US, they think they are far superior. That's why the US flag never bows down out of respect. All other country flags have to bow down, except USA, because they say, "Oh, we don't have to bow down to anyone." They have the superiority attitude, which never ends. They are only right. Everyone else is wrong. Okay, so USA is nobody's friends. It only cares about money. Mistake number five. The money that was normally spent for growing the country, for development, was now being spent for weapons, okay, for technology to spy. And that itself created a PR nightmare. And now you're wasting money on weapons. What the fuck are you going to do with weapons? Just destroy, right? You're not building the country. You're destroying the country. Okay. Mistake number six. Before, UAE tried to keep a very low profile initial days. But now we have the largest erection in the world, Burj Khalifa. Before it was Burj Dubai. Which anyway they had to sell it. Others, Dubai was going to get fucked. Then we have the largest shopping mall. We have the largest hotel. We have the largest swimming thing. We have the largest. That in a way looked good, but that brought in a lot of negative press. Case in point, Sheikh Mohammed used to keep winning the horse races in London. Okay, Go Dolphin or whatever the horse's name was. Later on, it was found out all the horses were filled with steroids. Okay, which was. You think Sheikh Mohammed doesn't know that his horses are getting injected with steroids? They love to breed horses. Okay, so it is in the news that all these horses they found out were injected with steroids. That's how it's winning. See, completely shut down because he had to save his name, and I'll speak about how his name got destroyed later on. So then Dubai was bragging about all these big towers and this thing. So then human rights started focusing. Are you abusing the workers? Yes, you are. And so whatever UAE started to do, everything started coming in the spotlight. They started looking at it with a microscope. Oh, you have so much of money. Where do all the underworld people come? They come to Dubai. So Dubai started to, because it was busy trying to be popular and famous, it got a lot of negative flack. See, here I'll ask you, this Khalid Al-Amri, these vloggers who speak very positive about Dubai. Dubai this, Dubai that. UAE is amazing. UAE loves UAE this. Tell me one negative thing that Khalid Al-Amri has spoken about UAE. One negative thing. Even he says labor camps are treated so amazingly well. He took the camera to the labor camp and showed people playing carom and they having sports and such a clean place and beautiful rooms and TV and all that. You seriously think a labor camp has TVs and all that? Tell me one negative thing that Khalid Al-Amri has spoken. One negative thing. He can't speak. He can't tell you the truth. He can't tell you there's prostitution in UAE. He can't tell you there is drugs in UAE. He cannot talk to you about Sheikh Mohammed's wife running away. He cannot tell you that Sheikh Mohammed's daughter running away. He cannot tell you that there's racism. He cannot tell you all these problems. He'll never tell you. So, this is the problem. They only show goody stuff, Mistake number 7. They promised too many projects. After the success of JLT, too many towers came up. Too many projects were announced. Palm Island 1, 2, 3, the world, waterfront, 750,000 villas. Then they had more than 1,000 towers promised. 1,000 towers. They had city after city. You're not talking of a building. You're talking of an entire city filled with towers. When you would go to Dubai Mall, they would have this big, huge miniature, which would cost like 100,000, 200,000 buildings and all that. What the fuck was all that? They had built Sheikh Maktoum Airport. Okay, Sheikh Maktoum is like a billion. It's costing billions of dollars just to build that. They build all this logistics city and outsource city and creative city and Dubai district and Dubai Central and so many fucking cities. Tell me which one is complete? Seriously, I'm asking which one is complete. Everyone knows logistics city is nothing. They know Maktoum city is a flop. They know Palm Island 1, 2, 1 is just decent but having plenty of problems. 2, 3, what happened to it? Just sand is there, nothing is there. What happened to the world? Nothing is there. What happened to waterfront? Nothing is there. So they promised too many projects and too much of the future. Mistake number 8, they took that 1% or 10%, whatever, and they never delivered the project. So many fraudsters ran away from UAE taking the money. The people who put in their money, I personally spoke to one Emirati guy. He has lost millions. He has lost millions in all this. He says, Baba, it's your Indian people who took the money. It's one Indian builder, they took the money and ran away. Well, this is the problem. No, the market wasn't regulated. And you remember I was telling about the visas for 10 years, 20 years, whatever. Where the fuck did they give them? Did they give them the government never said, no, there is no such thing about 10-year visa, 20-year visa. But nobody could talk about it. And they didn't deny it, they didn't accept it. Later on, they just said, no, we never said anything. So that's the problem now. When the economy was making money, nobody said anything. Okay. And people are busy taking everyone for a ride. Mistake number 9. Everyone knows that there is no citizenship. Fine. Everyone knows there is no support to the expatriate community. Fine. But the way it was made explicitly during the COVID crisis, just go to Facebook, Google search, on Facebook, expats, UAE expats abroad. There are more than 29,000 UAE expats who the government just doesn't give a fuck. In fact, some of them wrote to me and told me, on a plane landed to pick up these guys from Indonesia or somewhere. They were locals and they were expatriates. They just took a local, 1 or 2 locals in a full fucking plane. Expats, they could have accommodated. They said, no, fuck you. We're just taking the locals. And then you remember there was one of these videos where they showed a British girl, Gora. She comes down, they give her a gift, an iPhone, say, welcome, the city that cares. Do you think they would ever do this for an Indian or Pakistani or Sri Lankan or Bangladeshi? Do you think they would do this? No, they did it for a Gora skin because they want the Gora community to love them. When the funny thing is the majority are Indians. And today, all these expatriates are abroad. They don't have a salary. They don't have work. See the disaster. You have, suppose, an Indian passport. You are born and raised in UAE with an Indian passport. Now you can't come to UAE. You have to go back to India. In India, you don't have a job. You don't have savings. You don't have a house. You have nothing. What the fuck will you do in India? Nobody fucking knows you in India. Nobody wants you in India. So you have no choice but to go back to Dubai. But now Dubai doesn't give a fuck. It doesn't care about you. And if you don't land there, they'll cancel your visa. And then on top of that, if you have a credit card, you have a loan, you have a fucking house, everything is gone. And then you're blacklisted because you have to pay the fucking money. So the mistake number 9 is there's no support for 80% of the fucking population is expatriates. And you don't support 80%. What the fuck will you do? Mistake number 10. There's lack of transparency. The proof of this was exposed with B.R. Shetty and Damac. Okay, Damac was the first publicly listed company and they got exposed and then they shut down and UAE took over everything. B.R. Shetty, what happened to it? Okay. Now here's the funny thing. B.R. Shetty conducted audits which was seen by the government. How many banks gave him loans? How many people are supporting him? Oh, Allah bless me. And UAE said he's a great visionary and all. They just search. You don't have to believe me. And then what happened? When he went international, once you go international, everyone's eyes on you. That's why you get fucked. And that is where they realized, oh, he had rigged all the global auditing that was done. Totally rigged it. So just imagine, here's my question. If a company, a company can bullshit its numbers, its audits, and its legal documents, how much more can Emirates Airlines, which claims to have profits through hard work and vision, how much do you think they can play around with their numbers? How much do you think Dubai can play around with its numbers? It's a fucking city. It's under the most powerful man in the world. Okay. So lack of transparency. Mistake number 11 is the fake and sensational news. Every single fucking day, you get enough and more of it. Okay. Oh, they're going to build this tower of Sheikh's fingerprint. Oh, okay. The latest one is they have released all these prisoners from the jail. Okay, all these prisoners. Who is the prisoner? Show me a name. Show me which prisoner. Where the prisoner? I can say tomorrow, man, I have 100 million in my bank, 100 million. How the fuck do you know I have 100 million? Suppose I can show you, like internet marketer, I can show you an expensive Lamborghini in a house, and I can show you 2-3 babes sitting next to me. I can sit on a private jet. How do you know that Lamborghini is not rented? How do you know the house is not rented? How do you know those girls were with me and not a model? How do you know that the jet that I was sitting on is actually just for photograph, or I'm shooting like a movie production? See, this is the problem. You have all this fake and sensational news just as a PR running machine. They're saying, oh, we conquered COVID. Oh, we did this. Oh, we will do that. It's all fucking fake and sensational news. You just have to ask the guy on the streets. Ask a person who's working there, middle class guy. Ask him what is happening. He'll tell you the truth. And last mistake, focusing on nonsense. You remember when they made these female police, they will go on the Segway, and what happened to that? You remember the flying taxis? What happened to that? You remember this happiness minister? Oh, happiness minister. Oh, happiness laws. What the fuck happened to all this? You remember the youth minister for dynamic this thing? What happened to that? Space age. Oh, you don't have fucking money to feed your population. You don't have money to pay the 21 billion loan. What the fuck are you doing in space, man? And that also, it's not you. You don't have a fucking rocket. You don't have the structure. You're just having a guy to go as a passenger, to sit, to be flown then brought back. And that's a space fucking tourist. If you have 1 million or 5 million, you can go to Elon Musk and tell him, I just want to go to space and come back. Space tourism. It's not fucking this thing. That's a problem. You focus on nonsense. You still fucking focus on nonsense. Now, what are the problems that brings to UAE? These are the problems. The first biggest major fucking problem is the source of income. UAE has no agriculture. UAE has hardly any industries apart from Dubai. Its only source of revenue was oil, tourism, investment, and expatriates. Now, oil price is zero. Tourism is fucking zero. Investment is fucking zero. Expat population is declining. So now they have a major fucking source of income which is completely wiped out. Second, trade. Before I told you, they trade with Iran, they trade with Pakistan, they trade with Yemen, Syria, Libya. All that is fucking destroyed. Now gold shops are closing down one by one. People are trading with Iran. Now Iran also cannot trade. Okay. Problem number 3, the ego. Like I told you, when greed replaces need, anything can happen. And Emiratis, before they were so humble, they were so loving. The real original Emiratis, the locals, unbelievable human beings, better than anybody, better than Christian, better than atheist, better than Hindu, the actual Emirati, the actual hardworking, like Sheikh Rashid. Today's Emirati, oh, he will drive a fucking Porsche, he will drive a Hummer, he will drive a Bugatti, he will drive a Rolls Royce, he will take 10, but he'll never tell you that he has taken 10 loans and 5 auto loans and 200 credit cards, and they like to show off. That is what they like to do. Need to charge, man. Fuck. Okay, so I'll try to make it fast. So they just like to fucking show off, and that doesn't fucking work, man. Then you have increased overheads. Because they increased the salaries, because they showed off, all the overheads increased. The problem is after Sheikh Mohammed came, he increased the overheads by salaries. He increased it by 40%, increased by 50%. In a business, the most expensive thing is a fucking salary. Once you increase a fucking salary, it's permanent death. Any businessman knows that. Salaries are the most expensive things. And Sheikh Mohammed increased salaries by 40%, 60%, giving 2 months, 3 months bonus. He wanted their loyalty, but by giving them cash, he has spoiled them. And once you spoil a person with cash, you can never bring them back. Then problem number 5 is the cost of living. Cost of living increased. Remember Salik? They said Salik will reduce traffic. Salik only increased the cost of living. It increased transportation costs. It increased supply costs. It increased the cost of goods. So Salik, then they bought in fines. Then they bought in hidden charges. And this has increased the cost of living. So before you could stay 2,000 dirhams, you could live in UAE comfortably, one person. Today, at least 8,000 you need. And I don't know how these laborers in Dubai, I'm talking in Dubai, the main area, before maybe you could save on 200 dirhams, today even 800 dirhams. So it's like 4 times, 5 times increase because of the cost of living. Problem number 6 is the Houthi problem. They took part in the war. So now the Houthis will get back. They're threatening to bomb Dubai. But because of the COVID crisis now, okay, it has died down a little bit. But Houthis are waiting to get back their revenge. I'll tell you that. Problem number 7, the friendships that they purchased with USA. Yes, they got USA's friendship, but they have to keep paying to keep it. And because of this, they lost the friendship with Pakistan. See, Pakistan before used to come to UAE. It stopped. Then Pakistan Minister Imran Khan went to Saudi for cash. They said, we'll give you these big loans and $1 billion. They never gave. They only announced. Now Pakistan is going to China. And China is saying, I'll give you, but I want something in return. So before UAE and Saudi was busy supporting Lebanon. Now they don't have fucking money to support Lebanon. Lebanon has defaulted on its bond. And Lebanon's economy is completely fucking crashed. In fact, big question I'll ask you. ISIS, what happened to ISIS? Saudi funded ISIS. Today they don't have fucking money to fund ISIS. ISIS says, why the fuck should we fight and cause terrorism? You don't give us fucking money? No fucking terrorism. Fuck you. Problem number 8. UAE getting the spotlight, brought in the spotlight on them, human rights, money laundering. You remember the Tutok scandal? Okay. It was pulled off from the Play Store. And they revealed that it was in collaboration with Israel and UAE. And remember dark matter? Just search. And, you know, the UAE's reputation, the first flight of UAE landed, Etihad landed in Israel. Palestinians said, we don't want your fucking aid. So UAE's reputation is completely getting decimated. You know, Muslims should unite together and stay together. Now they're not doing that. Then you have problem number 9, the lack of security. COVID-19 exposed the reality that one is UAE doesn't have what it takes to maintain its own health, its infrastructure, showed so many glaring weaknesses. Biggest one being, if you're an expat, we don't fucking care, we don't support you. So many expats, I'll tell you, they don't have a job in UAE. They don't know what to do, man. Problem number 10, the dummy awards and gifts. The 10-year visa. What the fuck happened to the 10-year visa? Let me put it here. 1 second. Hold on. Let me. Okay. We'll try to put it here. What was the use of the 10-year visa? Tell me. What the fuck was the use for the 10-year visa? Was it any use that they gave, what's his name? B.R. Shetty, a 10-year visa. That they gave all these big guys 10-year visa. Tell me, what was the use of the 10-year visa? Today, B.R. Shetty is out. All the people who got 10-year visa, they're fucking out. You don't have fucking money, it's no fucking use. So, and they took money. They took millions for this 10-year visa. It's fucking useless, man, that gold visa. So these dummy awards of Sheikh Mohammed's award for this and that and this badge, it doesn't mean jack shit. And they have taken a lot of money for these awards. Most of the awards that they give, like the Consumer Nights Award and Best Performance Award and what fuck. You can buy this for money, man. You give money, millions, they'll give a fucking award. Problem number 11, all the big business houses, one by one, are falling. Joy Arakal, Lulu, Shetty, Sunny Varki, the IHS Board of Trustees, even Al Abtur and Al Futain, all are fucking. See, Expatriates anyway are getting destroyed. What is happening to the locals? One by one, they are getting destroyed. Problem number 12, the big one. This is property market. Check the property market from 2014. Just search. From December 2014, the property market has only fucking declined. Remember, I started in the beginning, told you 1,000 dirhams is the cost. They made it 100,000, then they made it million, then they made it 10 million, now they made 100 million. Now from 100 million, it's going down, down. From 2014, it has only been declining. Whoever invested the money, they fucking lost everything until now. Problem number 13, the fucking hype. Burj Khalifa, when it was launched at 2,400 or 3,000 per square feet. During its peak, it went to 14,000 per square feet. Today, it's selling at 1,400 per square feet. So 90% the value has declined. This is nothing but hype. What happened to the stock market? It has lost billions. You remember Saudi? Saudi Aramco is worth 2 trillion. Now what is it valued at? 2 gazillion. 2 trillion Zimbabwean dollars. That's what it's worth. It's worth jack shit. Remember Neon City, which was going to be $300 billion city? What the fuck happened to it? All these ads. The future 2030 vision. 2020, 2030, they go 100 years ahead. What is the vision worth? Problem number 14. They take money, but they can't deliver. Every tower, whether it's Falcon City, whether it's Nakil Islands, whether it's a World Islands, whether it's a Palm, whatever they have taken money for, they have never delivered it. And contractors, so many people don't get fucking paid. Problem number 15. The treasury is fucking empty because they increase the salaries and overheads. And the proof of this is Saudi and UAE are issuing bonds abroad. Okay? Abu Dhabi. They have issued dollar bonds. Can you tell me why Nigeria, India, London, Philippines, Thailand, Singapore, none of them are issuing bonds, but only Abu Dhabi and Saudi? Why? Because please give me the money, I'll give you bonds, I'll pay you back with interest. See, they don't have money. Problem number 16. This one is very critical and you'll never get it in any news. The problems within the states. You have fights between the ruling families. See, Sharjah's son got killed. It was a shock. Fujairah ruler, one of the ruling family, he ran away to Qatar. In Dubai's ruling family during the wedding, how many other ruling family members did not come? Sharjah, Fujairah, Russell came and never had so much of tension between Dubai. Why is all this? It was never there before, never. Problem number 17, no basic facilities. UAE has to ask India to send doctors and nurses because it doesn't have even the most basic facilities for health. And if you don't have for health, what the fuck is all these buildings and roads for? Problem number 18, UAE is slowly being cornered, UAE and Saudi. Have you noticed Mohammed bin Salman has not gone to US? Mohammed bin Zayed or Sheikh Mohammed has not gone to UK. They used to go so frequently. Why they are not going? Because now, as soon as they go there, they either will be arrested or they'll have riots or they'll have protests which will ruin their image. In fact, USA is slowly distancing itself from Saudi. No more American warships, no more diplomats, no more American flights, no more UK, Canada, Europe. You go check on the travel website, they will tell you UAE has problems. They warn its citizens from going there. They're asking their citizens to come out of there. This is not good. It has never happened in the history of Saudi. Problem number 19, the problem of checks. If your check bounces in UAE, you get arrested. And so many people are taking advantage of this loophole. There is no support for the business community. And this is a major fucking problem. What's the use of starting a business in UAE if they don't support you? Everyone makes mistakes in their business life. Everyone will make a mistake. So what are you going to start jailing everyone? And if you jail people, why would anyone come there? Then you have problem number 20 is people living on credit. This became a fashion statement. They would take auto loans, they would take property loans, they would take business loans, they would take car loans, they would take every fucking loan possible. Not just one loan, they would take 5 loans, 10 loans. There's no way to regulate this. Locals would get like 10 loans. The wife would get another 10 loans. The brother would get 10 loans. The father would get 10 loans. And they can pay after 30 years. So when everyone's living on credit, how the fuck will pay? In fact, let me ask you, how many places have you gone shopping? Tell me, how many malls have you gone shopping? even before the COVID crisis, how many malls have you gone? How many malls are there? There's Sunset Mall, Lamsey Mall, Wafi Mall, Arabian Mall, Dragon Mall 1, Dragon Mall 2, Burjuman, Al Ghurair. How many malls have you gone? There's just handful which I've given you. There are so many other fucking malls. How do you, how many malls do you go? How do these retail outlets pay money? How do they survive? Right now they're saying, okay, they're opening up the economy. And they're saying 30% only can fit in. You have to pay 100% of the electricity, 100% of the water, 100% of the expenses. But only 30% of the revenue. As it is, they were living hand to mouth. Then problem number 21 is the invincibility of Sheikh Mohammed. That image that was there before Sheikh Mohammed, the horse racer, the gambler, the visionary, the ruler. After his wife left him and ran away, after his daughter left him and ran away, after his children, one by one, they left him and ran away, and after they opened it publicly, his image has been tarnished. And now he's an old man in his 70s. And that is not good for Dubai because he's so linked to Dubai. He represented Dubai. He is Dubai. And with his image being impacted, that's a really bad thing, I'll tell you that. See, right now, the current situation of UAE is really bad. Okay, really, really bad. Sheikh Mohammed, who always used to speak in Arabic, the only time he spoke in English was one during the BBC interview when it became a big scandal of having that girl jailed. The European girl. They wouldn't give a fuck if it was Indian or Pakistani or whatever. Because she was European, he spoke, gave the BBC interview for damage control. And now he spoke again saying, UAE, Dubai and Abu Dhabi is one. Why? Because he has to show the unity because now he needs money from them. And he's trying to lure the investors to, please don't run away, come back, we are here. That's the only time he spoke in English. Others he wouldn't speak, and this is clearly nothing but damage control. The airport is closed. Hardly anyone, there's no tourism. The business is closed. Trade routes are blocked. UAE has no other choice but to declare bankruptcy. But in order to, if they don't do that, they'll keep borrowing. Okay? Now what they're doing, what is planned out next? They will introduce taxes. Oman has cut salaries and introduced taxes. Saudi has cut salaries, introduced taxes. Yemen has cut salaries, introduced taxes. Kuwait has cut salaries, introduced taxes. Bahrain has cut salaries, introduced taxes. UAE will also do the same. They will cut salaries and introduce taxes. Okay. So now the end result. What is the end result of all this? The end result of all this, it's going to be survival of the fittest. I've told you this before. There will be less people, but they will be quality people. Only the best will survive. Only the best who know how to market themselves, how to sell themselves, how to stand out, how to have the best competency in business, how to have the best mentors, who know the loopholes in and out, who are very intelligent, street smart. Only they will survive. The rest, everyone will suffer and get the foul. There will be casualties, massive casualties, but only the best will survive. Then those who invest in themselves, in their education, in their team, in their expertise, in their mind, surround themselves with the best of the best, who work hard, don't live this fucked up life of showing off, they will survive. Freelancers will increase. Taxes will increase. Generic businesses like typical restaurants will close down. Typical shops will close down. All these big, mighty, big show-offs, they will close down. Old-timers, all the old dinosaurs who earn big salaries, they'll all be fucking unemployed. Most of them who lived hand-to-mouth will be finished. The ones who enjoyed great privileges will now have to live with basics. Uprisings, there will be plenty, but they will be quickly destroyed, finished off. UAE will stop showing off like how it was doing before. They will try to make peace, but peace will come only after 5 or 10 years because by the time cooler heads will prevail. Attraction for UAE will remain. Black money will continue coming. Underworld guys will continue because they have to support the cash rolling in. But the dominance will not be there. There will not be easy way to make money. Glory days are completely gone. All those guys who enjoyed big salaries, they'll come down to the ground. And like I told you, the ones who are smart, who are intelligent, who really invest in their brand, who really invest in themselves, in their intelligence, who surround themselves with the best of the best, they will make money. The rest, everyone will suffer. They will fucking be broken completely. And you'll see this fucking happening. Just see. Trust me, till this year end, there's not going to be any fucking change. Only media hype and media fucking nonsense. Plenty will lose up. The ones who approach the profession, the best of the best will survive. The rest will get totally fucked. And you don't have to buy and believe a word I say. I challenge you, look at you, your colleagues, your friends, your relatives. you'll remember what the fuck I said. I predicted Expo 2020 will be a disaster. I didn't think it'll be such a big disaster. I told you that UAE, the dynamics will change. UAE market will be affected. All said, fuck you, your butt hurt, you are deported, this and that. Now, like I told you, my prediction, survival of the fittest, less people, more quality, taxes will increase. There will be income tax, there will be business tax. Generic businesses will close down. Old timers will be unemployed. Old people will be thrown out. People who live hand to mouth will be out. Only people who focus on their brands, who market, sell intelligently, who are smart and talking and not showing off, who really can work their ass off. And yes, Emiratis will work very fucking hard from now. Very fucking hard. You'll have massive competition on Emiratis as well. It'll be survival of the fittest. The best of the best will survive. The rest, you'll go back to your countries from where you came from, or whoever remains will struggle hand to mouth, struggle and suffer. But only the best will rise. And this generation of we guys, you could say those glory days are over. So this was my complete analysis of the UAE. If you feel that I added any value, please do like, share this video. Put your comments down below. I always read them. And if you'd like to support the channel, let me know. I always appreciate. This took me almost 8 days of research, 8 days of work. I slept day and night just doing this. So do let me know your thoughts. I read your comments. This is me signing off. Take care.
Are you fed up of life? Earning a pathetic salary, working long hours, having an ungrateful boss, facing office politics, the constant fear of losing your job, and after paying rent, groceries, shopping, and children's expenses, you were left with hardly any savings. Is this the life you dreamed of? Or do you wish to change your life forever? Meet Loy Machedo, the world's #1 personal branding coach. He will help you identify the real you, position and sell yourself by getting the job of your dreams, and make good money anywhere in the world. If you do not believe me, Google his name, Loy Machedo, and you will find 2 million web links online and over 200 recommendations from very happy clients. So the question is, do you want to change your life? If yes, then contact Loy Machedo. www.loymachedo.com. Who is loymachedo.com? Thinkpersonalbranding.com. What are you waiting for? Do it now.